Welcome to Jacksonville, Florida, a city long known for old people, retirement homes, and enclosed pools. I bet you weren't expecting that, were you? No, really, Jacksonville has always been known as a great place to retire. In particular, buying a suburban home is cheap and there's a whole lot of land available. In fact, it's by far the biggest city in mainland America, and you can actually fit 19 San Franciscos inside of the city. This makes it easily the most spread out city in America, which is perfect for people who hate crime, neighbors, or really anything dangerous. The hoods of Jacksonville exist almost exclusively on the north and west sides of the city. Here you'll find neighborhoods resemblant of Memphis or Baton Rouge with a whole lot of open carrying, bail bond signs, and a ton of
abandoned homes all over, like this one, with ripped out electrical boxes, boarded up windows. Across the street I see bullet holes all over.
Ooh. But despite the daunting looks, it was always known for being laid back, donk riding, and crazy hair wearing. But in this video, you'll see how one man single-handedly changed the vibe from being overly player to being evil and possibly a worse drill scene than Chicago. No, for real, Jacksonville is bad, and in this video we start in one of the North Side's most infamous hoods. The video begins in an infamous Section 8 project called the Hilltop Village, also known as the Bricks for short.
The worst hood in Jacksonville, like literally the worst hood, Hilltop Village Apartments.
I'm appalled about how these residents are living.
We're gonna go to Hilltop Apartments right now.
You for real? Don't, I won't do that.
Statistically, the Bricks have always been the worst part of the city, with constant violence, robberies, raids, and more. In fact, it got so bad that the city mandated they put a metal fence around the property, only allowing residents on the premises. Well, here is where a man named Charles Jones, also known as Rick the Ruler, was seen as the landlord. Not exactly the person who collects the rents, but the man who's in charge of running all of the street activities in the project. For years, Rick was deeply feared on the north side, kind of like the boogeyman. Well, simultaneously, Rick was a father as well, with a son named Charles Jones Jr. who lived with him and his mother in the Bricks. Born in 1998, Charles Jr. experienced an extremely violent period on the north side, surrounded by nothing but chaos and violence. This made lending a normal childhood nearly impossible for Charles, as focusing on school and even sleeping at night were difficult tasks. He basically grew up roaming around the projects, seeing things that he probably should not have been seeing. Then at 11 years old, he witnessed something that truly no kid should ever see. It's a late afternoon in the Bricks, and Charles and his friends are hanging out in the courtyard. As they're playing games and minding their own business, suddenly they start hearing a loud confrontation. So Charles naturally looks over and sees his best friend's mom and her boyfriend getting into a fight. The argument gets heated, and sadly the man lets his emotions get the best of him. He whips out and makes a terrible decision. The man runs away, and everyone comes in to help the woman. They rush her to the hospital, where thankfully she survives. Regardless though, witnessing this at 11 would scar Charles Jr. for life.
It was so crazy. I was so close to my dog at the time. I'm watching him cry like, and then I'm seeing her lay down on the steps. She lift her arm shirt up. She like, I'm shot. I'm like, this is really going on, you feel me? That night, like, that just fucked my mind up. That just showed me, like, cause you know when you a kid, you don't think death for real. That showed me that death is real, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, she actually died?
Nah, she ain't died, but I'm looking at her bleed and, you know what I'm saying?
Hilltop was stamped in his mind by this horrible incident, and it was no place to continue to grow up. So thankfully, at the age of 12, his father moved to the west side of Jacksonville, relieving him from all the problems of the Bricks.